matter where you find yourself, no matter what kind of stuff is going on in your life, underneath it all, everything's actually all right. You're okay.
Hi, long time no see and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna try something a little bit different in a sense that I've never done it in my previous videos. So what I'm gonna do today is kind of a reading vlog, basically to document how many books that I can read within this 4 days period that I'm filming. The reason for only 4 days is because I'm gonna travel back to my grandparents' place. So I don't think that I can bring a lot of books with me, and yeah, the vlog wouldn't really make sense if I extended it to a week when I have to leave in like 4 days time. I'm not going to fix a list of books to read because I kind of want to go according to my mood. Sometimes when I fix something, it kind of feels like assigned reading in university and it's not fun for me. I wouldn't say this 4 days I will be like on an intense reading marathon. I've got things going on, so yeah. So before we start, I want to show you the first book that I'm gonna be reading in this reading vlog. So it is this. This is A Killing in the Hills by Kaale. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. English is not my first language. So as you can tell, this is not a book that I just randomly picked from my bookshelves that I want to read. I actually read this halfway through already last year, so it's 2019. The reason I didn't finish this book is that so far I found it very boring, very dry. And it's supposed to be a crime book, and it says that it's supposed to be very suspenseful, but so far I don't really feel that. What I feel is actually when I read the first half of the book, I can already kind of predict what's going on in the back. I can already predict who's gonna be the killer. So it's not that fun for me, and also the writing is okay, but I do feel like the characters are very bland. And with not much plot going on and with boring characters, it's not really the thing for me, or maybe I'm just being too judgmental. But yeah, so far I don't really like this book. The reason I didn't give up reading and I want to read it now is that I'm not really a quitter for books because I spend money buying this. I spend money on this. I'm not gonna stop reading something that I spend money on. So hopefully I can get through this book, and hopefully the second half of the book is gonna be a little bit better. So I've stopped at 186, so I'm gonna start reading from 187 to 370. So that's like half of the book, so yeah. So before I begin, I'm just gonna change back into my pajamas so that I can feel more comfortable reading. And also this intro is getting far too long, so let's just get back into the reading vlog.
You're okay. You have more power than you might be giving yourself credit for. And if you have something that's going on in your life right now that's challenging or painful, it's just a reminder to take a little bit better care of yourself. You're worth it.
So it's been 2 hours since I read this book, and I've already finished it. I finished half of it, not the entire thing under 2 hours. I'm not that good in reading that fast. It definitely got better at the end, but it's not something that I want to read the following books. Apparently this is a series after I Google it. There's a few more books after this. I don't think I'll be seeking out those books to read. It's not that interesting for me. However, there's actually 2 crime cases in this book. The smaller crime cases, which was not the focal point of this book, was actually better than the main case itself. So I was definitely surprised by the small case. But then, as I said before, the major case, I kind of predicted the murderer and I was right. So I don't really feel like, oh, there's a plot twist or there's like a revelation kind of moment to this. Their characters are still quite bland, but yeah, I finished it and I'm gonna choose the second book, and hopefully the second book that I choose is gonna be better than this. finished this book and I basically cried 10 separate times. This book is so good. It's not that thick. It's only 208 pages and it took me around, say, 2 hours to finish this. I always wanted to read this, but I just never came around to do this, and I'm glad that I finished this today. 10 out of 10 would recommend to other people. I mean, I would just recommend any book written by him, to be honest. This is a good read. I'm gonna find the third book and I'm gonna read it. So I actually finished reading this book, Big Bones. What I want to say about this book is that it does improve in the second half. There's actually a plot going on. So in the first half of the book, basically just nothing goes on. In the second half, there is, I would say, 2 plot lines. One romantic plot line and then the other one is about a family. So the family one is okay. What I don't get is the romantic plot line. This doesn't feel like a book that needs a romantic plot line, because this guy that they are introducing in her love life is not really advancing any major character growth, main character. So I don't really see the point of the romantic plot. Besides that, there is some character progression, so I'm happy about that. At least the girl didn't make it all about herself like the first half of the book. So the first half of the book, I would say that is terrible. Everyone seems very obnoxious, very annoying, and the scenes were described as quite disgusting, I would say. But the second half was a little bit better. The main character kind of grows out of a mindset of, being self-absorbed and making everything about herself. But all in all, I still won't rate this book very high. I would say that this writing style is not what I like. And the plot is not enough to support the entire book, because the first half of the book basically have no plot. And also the characters aren't that endearing. I would say that I'm not rooting for the character at all, so that is not a good sign. I'll probably just rate this like 2 or 2.5 star. So it's not that great. It pains me a little to read, especially the first half, but the second half was better. I think that's the summary of this book. Anyway, today is the last day of Chinese New Year, so I'll be having a family dinner later. I'm not sure if I have time to read before the dinner, so I think I'm just gonna pick a book out first and see how it goes. So I finished this book and I was pleasantly surprised by this book actually. I do feel like it is a good read. It's not those kind of readings where it is meant for like critical thinking, critical analysis. It is just a cute, fun, funny, fluffy, cheesy kind of book, which I mean, it is claimed to be this kind of book. I think the reason that I really like this book is that it delivered what it promised. It kind of promised you to be like a fun read, and it is a fun read. So I got through this fairly quickly because it is easy to read. But I think the plot itself is quite fun as well. So it is not just repetitively the same romance kind of story. In fact, the romance is just like a subplot in the story. So the main focus is basically like what the title say. The main character is trying to teach filthy rich girls. So I mean, it is a fun, casual little read, which I think everyone should read once in a while to take their minds off things. But yeah, I think I'll rate it like 4 out of 5 stars. I took off 1 star basically because I feel like the ending was a little bit too rushed. I get it, they trying to resolve everything by the end of the book, try to have a happy ending, you know. I do think that if they added more complexity to the ending, as in if they explain more how the conflict is going to be resolved, instead of just, you know, chucking something in for convenience, I think it would be better in the sense that I will rate it 5 stars for an easy read. So basically I'm just gonna choose a 5th book, but I'm not too sure whether I'm gonna finish it because I'm gonna have to pack my stuff tonight for my upcoming trip to my grandparents' place. But still, I'll just pick a 5th book out. If I'm unable to finish it, I'll just bring it on my trip to read. So yeah, there's that. So it is officially the end of my vlog. I just want to do a short outro before anything, and I just want to clarify something. So I actually picked up a 5th book yesterday, which you can see in the previous clips. But what I read yesterday night after I finished packing my suitcase and all was actually this. So this is the 10th book of The Princess Diaries, and I just want to reread it. Of course I've read it. It is one of my favorite series when I was a young teenager, probably like when I was 13 or 14 years old. I have a feeling to want to reread certain parts of the book, but I ended up reading the entire book from cover to cover, you know. I started reading, I think maybe like 1:30 after I finished packing my suitcase, and I read until 4 in the morning. Because I had a rush of nostalgia when I read this book, so I was like, yeah, let's just keep on reading, and I read until 4 in the morning, and I have to leave for my bus now. And I'm just gonna bring leaving time with me on a trip to read and see if I can finish it in that week, because that week will be a lot of catching up to do, so I'm not too sure whether I have a lot of time to read. But so far I've been pretty pleased with myself in getting back into this old habit of reading physical books that I own. So yeah, that is a good thing that I'm really happy about. And so I guess this vlog comes to an end, and I hope I'll be able to do more of this, and I might do a review on the books that I've read this month. This is a new thing that I want to try, but I'm not too sure just yet because I watch other people's review and they are very comprehensive and they are very intelligent, and for me, I'm not sure whether I can formulate those kind of arguments. So I just have to see whether I can do that, and if I do, I'll be including all the books that I've read in this vlog into the monthly wrap-up. I guess there's nothing else to say now except for bye!